Hey guys, what's up? Jeff here, and today we're talking toilets. So we're going to be comparing the Laveo dry flush toilet and the Nature's Head composting toilet. So let's get into it.
We're Jeff and Lisa, and during the 2020 quarantine, we did something we thought was only a dream. We bought a Sprinter van and converted it into the ultimate road trip vehicle. On this channel, we share our van life experience, including van build how-tos, tips, hacks, and product reviews, plus van travel and lifestyle. So if you're new here, consider subscribing.
So whether you have got a wet bath like I have here, where I've got a shower with a toilet in it, or you've just got a toilet that you're going to use, tuck away somewhere and pull out when you need to use it. Either way, which one is the best? The toilet is a big investment. If you're going for either a dry flush or a composting toilet, you're going to be spending $600 to $1,000 on it. And so you want to make sure you get the right one. So I'm going to do a comparison in several different areas, and I'm going to let you know which one I chose and why I did at the end of this video. So stay tuned. So first of all, let's talk size. So the two toilets are pretty comparable in size. So the Laveo I've got here is 16 inches wide, 20 inches deep, and 18 inches tall. The Nature's Head is 19 inches wide, but that does include the crank. If you just include the toilet bowl portion of it, it's about the same as the Laveo, about 16 inches wide. It's about 18 inches deep, so about 2 inches shallower than the Laveo, but it's 20 inches tall, so it's about 2 inches taller. If you need one that's a little shorter or one that's a little narrower, then that might make a difference in which one you choose. The weight, though, for the Laveo is about 20 pounds when it's empty, and the Nature's Head is about 28 pounds empty. But then when you add the peat moss or the coconut fiber in there, you're going to add maybe a couple of more pounds, and so it's around 30 pounds. So the Nature's Head is about 30% heavier. So if you're going to use it in a wet bath and you're going to be moving it in and out, then that would be a consideration. But overall, weight-wise, the weight in most cases is not going to be a big deal. So I'm going to call this one a tie on the dimensions and the weight. So next up is the electrical. Both of these require electricity. The Nature's Head for a fan that pulls the air through and helps the composting and also helps the smell. And then on the Laveo, it actually uses electricity to flush. So on the Laveo dry flush, you actually plug it into an AC outlet, charge it, and then that charge lasts for 2 to 3 months. With the Nature's Head, it has to be wired all the time, and the fan is running all the time in order for it to work correctly. Now, if you're not using your van or RV for several weeks at a time, you can turn off the fan, but as long as you're in it and using it, that fan needs to be running all the time. It's very low draw on your electricity, but there is the consideration that you're going to have to run an electrical line to where the toilet is and have it connected. So in this case, for the electrical, I'm going to give the edge to the Laveo because it's just you charge it and then it doesn't have to be connected to the electricity at all. So it's much easier to move around if you need to do that. So next up is the installation of the two. So for the Nature's Head, it does require the electrical to be connected, and then it also requires a hose to be connected and vented either outside of your van through the wall, through the floor, or through the roof. And so you're going to have to drill a hole somewhere. You're going to have to run a line for this hose to basically vent the Nature's Head toilet. And the venting is not only for the smell, but also the composting requires airflow, and so it's for that as well. So that fan does need to be connected and running all the time. The Laveo basically is all self-contained, so after it's charged, you can move it wherever you want. Doesn't need to be connected to anything, and you can set it wherever you want. You can tuck it away and pull it out. It doesn't need to be connected. So as far as the installation goes, I'm going to give the edge to the Laveo. Now, if you're like me and you're using your toilet in a wet room or a wet bath like this, one consideration is if you want to leave the toilet in the shower when you're using it, can it be used? Well, both of the manufacturers of Laveo and Nature's Head, they both recommend that if you're going to keep the toilet in the shower when you're using it, that you should cover the toilet. And that's both because of the electrical, and also in the case of the Nature's Head, some water can accumulate in the tray that the liquid container sits in. So they actually suggest either covering it or drilling some holes so that water can drain out when it gets in there. So the other consideration is that in most cases your wet bath area is going to be pretty small. So in my case, my shower is 32 inches long. Some people will have a 36-inch long, but either way, that's pretty tight. And then your width, mine is 24, this way. And so it doesn't leave you a lot of room to shower. It's doable. You can definitely shower in with the toilet in there, but it's going to be a lot easier to pull the toilet out. So in the case of the Laveo, all you got to do is, I have a little bracket it's connected to. I undo a couple of wing nuts. I can pull it out. With the Nature's Head, I'm going to have to disconnect the air tube and also the electrical in order to pull it out. So with the Nature's Head, it's going to be more difficult to take it out and in and out of the shower if you want to do that. So in this case, again, I'm going to give the edge to the Laveo. Okay, next up is, what can you actually put into the toilet? With the Nature's Head, it actually diverts the liquids and the solids into two different containers. With the liquids, you can pretty much put anything that's liquid. If you have water or a soda or something you want to dump in there, that's just fine. With the solids, because it's going to be composted, they don't recommend putting anything else in there other than toilet paper, and they do recommend using one-ply toilet paper and then the human waste solids, human solids. They don't recommend putting anything else in there because that can affect the ability for the composition to happen. So for example, they don't recommend that you put any food in there, or any other kind of waste, or feminine hygiene products should not be placed into the composting area of the toilet. So you're a little bit limited that way. Now with the Laveo, it's just a container that's basically like a Mylar trash bag that's then has a plastic, heavy-duty plastic trash bag around it. And so you can really put anything you want. You can put feminine products, you can put food, you can put any kind of trash that you want, although it does have a limited capacity, so you don't want to fill it up with stuff, but pretty much anything goes. You can put anything you want in there. So as far as what you can put into the toilet, I'm going to give the edge to the Laveo. Next up is comfort. So the Laveo is very much like a normal toilet. It has a seat that lifts up and goes down. It's a round bowl and it's pretty small, but it is pretty much like using a normal toilet. With the Nature's Head, the toilet, the seat is actually integrated into the molded plastic, and so it doesn't lift up and down. So it's a little bit more durable, but it's a little bit less comfortable to sit on. So for you guys out there, both of these are a little bit difficult to use standing up because the bowls are pretty small. And so it's really recommended for either one that you use them sitting down, whether you're doing number one or number two. So next up, how about when it comes time to empty the toilet? Which one is easier to do? So with the Nature's Head, each time you use it for solids, there's a crank you need to turn, and then that mixes up the material that's in the composting bin with the solid waste and helps to break it down more quickly. So when it comes time to empty it, you do have to lift up the whole top of it, whether you're disposing the liquid or the solid. Then you take that out and you have to dispose of it somewhere. So with the urine, they recommend that you can put it, you can put it pretty much anywhere, under a tree. They said mature trees are fine. If you dilute it, you can put it in plants. It's pretty much anywhere you can safely dispose of that is fine. With the solid, once it's broken down, they recommend that you either mix it into a composting pile or put it into a bag before you put it into the trash, or you bury it. That's a little bit more difficult. With the dry flush, it is a Mylar bag and then another plastic bag around that. So when it comes time to change it, you just remove that bag, put a rubber band around it, and you can throw it away in a normal trash can. It would be similar to disposing of like baby diapers. It's legal to just dump those into any trash can. So as far as just emptying the toilet when it comes time, I'm going to give the edge also in this area to the Laveo. So far, it seems like the Laveo really has the edge. But now's when it gets a little bit more difficult, and you've got to examine kind of your personal needs to determine which one is best for you. With the Laveo, it comes with, in the refill package, it comes with the heavy-duty plastic garbage bag, like I said, and a rubber band. So when you take the old one out, you put the bag in, you basically line the bin with this, you put the rubber band around it, and then this is the cartridge. And this cartridge sits on top of you lift up the seat, you put this in, you put the seat back down, and then this extends down into the bottom of the toilet. Okay, so that's the cartridge. These cartridges are about $15 each. So for $15, they say that you get about 15 to 17 flushes. Now what I have found is that's pretty normal. What some people have suggested is to, like overnight, don't flush it and then just flush it in the morning. So you could use it several times before flushing. But what is really determining how much it can use is the capacity of the bin. And so even if you were to use it 4 or 5 times and then flush it, you put a lot into the bin, so you're probably not going to get the full 15 to 17 flushes if you're going several times before you do it. So what my wife and I found is traveling for 3 or 4 days, we can use one of the cartridges. So at $15, it's working out to about $5 a day. So if you are living full time in your van, that's probably going to be pretty expensive, right? $5 a day. If you're traveling on weekends and here and there, then $5 a day isn't a big deal, and it's very convenient. So where the Nature's Head really has the edge, the material that you put into the composting bin will last a long time. They estimate that for about $10 or $15 for about a 6-month period, living it full time. So the cost of use is going to be much less for the Nature's Head or other composting toilet versus the Laveo. Now the other consideration is the upfront cost. So the Nature's Head composting toilet is about $900 to $950. And there are other brands that are in that same range, even going up to a little over $1,000. The Laveo dry flush toilet is about $650. So your upfront cost is less, but your cost of use is a little bit higher. So here's my recommendation. If you are living in your van full time, and especially if you're keeping your toilet in one place and you're not moving it, then the composting toilet is probably the way you're going to want to go. If you are a part-time van lifer, or if you want to be able to move your toilet around, if you're keeping it in a small wet bath like I am, or if you have it under a cabinet or a counter and you want to be able to pull it out and use it and tuck it back away, then the dry flush is a great option. So that's what I think, having tried both of these. Let me know what you think. If you tried one or the other or both, let us know in the comments. And if you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out a lot. So ultimately, we decided to go with the dry flush. We've been using it now for several months and we really like it. It's worked out great. With both of these toilets, there's absolutely no smell. They're both very clean, very easy to care for. So I can recommend either one, but based on your own personal needs, you're gonna find that one or the other is gonna be best for you. Hopefully this video helps you out. We'll see you in the next one.